Have you ever wondered how North Korea, a tiny country, manages to keep the world on its toes? Welcome to the Enigma of the East, North Korea. Tucked away in the northeastern corner of the Asian continent, this diminutive nation, a mere speck on the world map, is a force to be reckoned with. North Korea, officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, is a country of paradoxes. It's a hermit kingdom, isolated, yet with an undeniable influence on global politics. Its geographical location, sandwiched between powerhouse nations like China and South Korea, adds to its strategic significance. North Korea's unique position in the global political landscape is more than just about geography. It's about a nation that has managed to retain its autonomy and identity in a world increasingly moving towards globalization. It's about a nation that continues to intrigue and confound observers. So how did this mysterious nation come to be? We have to go back in time to understand. The story of North Korea begins in the aftermath of World War II. As the dust of war settled, the Korean peninsula, once a unified entity, found itself divided along the 38th parallel. North of this line, the Soviet Union took control, while to the south, the United States maintained authority. This division was intended to be temporary, a mere administrative detail to facilitate the surrender of Japanese forces. However, political tensions and ideological differences between the two superpowers soon solidified this divide into a lasting border. The temporary partition morphed into a permanent split, marking the birth of two distinct nations, North and South Korea. In the North, the Soviet Union began to shape the region in its image. They introduced a socialist system and started to build a state infrastructure. At the helm of this transformation was a young guerrilla fighter named Kim Il-sung, handpicked by the Soviets for his unwavering loyalty to their cause. Under Kim's leadership, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea was officially proclaimed on September 9, 1948. Kim Il-sung, now the premier, embarked on a mission to consolidate his power and establish a totalitarian regime. He introduced a personality cult, and his image became ubiquitous, his word unquestionable. Economic and military support from the Soviet Union allowed North Korea to rapidly industrialize and militarize. The nation became a formidable force on the global stage, even as its people were subjected to strict control and isolation. The world watched in apprehension as North Korea transformed under Kim Il-sung's iron fist, its trajectory unpredictable, and its motives inscrutable. The North Korean experiment was a spectacle of paradoxes. A young nation that was simultaneously modern and archaic, powerful and vulnerable, known and unknown. The North stood in stark contrast to its southern counterpart, which was embracing democracy and capitalism under American influence. And thus, the stage was set for a regime that would baffle the world. The birth of North Korea was not just the creation of a new nation, but the inception of a unique and enigmatic political experiment that continues to perplex and fascinate us to this day. A nation often reflects its leader, and North Korea is no exception. Now, let's delve into the reign of the Kims, a dynasty that has ruled North Korea for over 7 decades. Our journey begins with Kim Il-sung, the founding father of North Korea. Kim Il-sung, a former guerrilla fighter against Japanese rule, assumed power in 1948. His rule, marked by a blend of socialist economics and nationalistic propaganda, laid the groundwork for the nation's ideology, juche, or self-reliance. But beneath this ideal was a stark reality, a stringent cult of personality, and a regime that brooked no dissent. Following his passing in 1994, Kim Il-sung's son, Kim Jong-il, took the reins. Kim Jong-il's era was marked by a continuation of his father's policies, but with a darker twist. The country faced a devastating famine in the mid-90s, leading to the deaths of hundreds of thousands. Yet the state propaganda machine painted a picture of a prosperous nation under his benevolent leadership. Kim Jong-il also ramped up the country's nuclear ambitions, leading to global tensions. Fast forward to 2011 and the world sees the ascension of Kim Jong-un, the youngest son of Kim Jong-il. His leadership has been characterized by a paradoxical blend of modernization and militarization. Kim Jong-un has made some attempts at economic reforms and has even allowed a semblance of a market economy. Yet he's continued to invest heavily in the country's nuclear and missile programs, keeping the world on tenterhooks. Each Kim has left an indelible mark on North Korea, shaping its identity and its place in the world. They've fostered a potent cult of personality, with each portrayed as a godlike figure in state propaganda. Yet, beneath the grandeur and the showmanship, lies a nation grappling with economic hardships and international sanctions. Under the Kim dynasty, North Korea has become a paradox of poverty and power. Their reign, a testament to the resilience of authoritarianism, continues to shape the destiny of the Hermit Kingdom. In the present day, North Korea is a country that both fascinates and frightens. As we delve into the current state of North Korea, we find ourselves in a complex web of politics, economics, human rights, and international diplomacy. This is a nation that in many ways stands apart from the rest of the world. The political landscape of North Korea is dominated by one party, the Workers' Party of Korea. Led by Kim Jong-un, the third generation of the Kim dynasty, the party's rule is absolute and uncontested. It's a political system that has been described as totalitarian, with an emphasis on personality cults and an unyielding control over information. Economically, North Korea is a paradox. Despite international sanctions and isolation, it manages to survive. Its economy, heavily state-controlled, relies on a mix of natural resource exports, overseas labor, and illicit activities. However, the country's citizens grapple with poverty and food shortages, a stark contrast to the opulent lifestyle portrayed by its leadership. The mention of North Korea often brings to mind its nuclear capabilities. The country's pursuit of nuclear weapons, in defiance of international norms and treaties, has been a source of ongoing tension. Its missile tests and threats have drawn condemnation and concern from around the globe, adding a layer of unpredictability to international relations. Yet, beneath the political and economic narratives lie the human rights issues. The North Korean regime is often criticized for its suppression of freedom of speech, religion, and movement. Reports of forced labor, public executions, and political prison camps paint a grim picture of life inside the Hermit Kingdom. In its isolation, North Korea has built a world of its own, a world that is largely cut off from global influence. Its isolationist policies, driven by juche or self-reliance ideology, have shaped its interactions with the outside world. North Korea remains an enigma, a country that is both stuck in time and ahead of it. Its story is a study in contrasts, a fascinating yet troubling journey through the annals of modern history. So, what can we make of this enigmatic nation? We've journeyed from the birth of North Korea through the decades-long reign of the Kims to the country's current state. We've seen a nation born from conflict, guided by a single family's vision, and now stands as a unique entity on the world stage. While North Korea continues to be a subject of global intrigue, understanding its history gives us a glimpse into this secretive nation.